Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's show is presented by Manscaped. We know that John Scheffler uses Manscaped. That's why he's always getting it in. If you want to be like John Scheffler, go to manscaped.com. Use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. First one, rolling in here from Patrick. Did Mark Davis give McDaniels and Ziegler a 4-year deal? Explain to me. From what I personally understand, it was more of a 3-year deal and that their contracts are tied together. The biggest example that I can give you is the reason when the Raiders went out and they traded for Davante Adams, they gave him a 5-year deal, but there was a 3-year out. So it's not been confirmed yet, but from what I hear, it was more of a 3-year deal. Let's go to Saki's. I don't know if they should fire McDork or not. If they do, who is up next? There's going to be plenty of other coordinators out there. I don't personally view McDaniels as a top 32 head coach. There's going to be other people out there. There's going to be other candidates, and personally, I think that it's likely that the Raiders end up moving on. Let's go to Cast Joey. At what price point do we move on from Josh Jacobs? His childish posts are starting to annoy me. I agree also that a lot of the cryptic messages are starting to get old. I said it's a little bit as a high schoolish move, but the number that I'm going to continue to look at for Josh is 3 years, $38.4 million. You give him $22.2 million guaranteed, which is double the franchise tag. If he says no to that, then I'm sorry, he doesn't want to be a Raider battened up. Patrick B. got shit started on our live show. So much coaching turnover in the last 10 years. Got to get McDaniels 3 years so we don't waste players. I agree with the idea that you don't want to get too crazy with the idea of moving on from somebody way too soon. I can also sit up here and say that, yes, I like the idea of giving him 3 years because of how bad Gruden and Mayock were. I mean, think about it. The Raiders right now got $30 million in dead cap space because a lot of the shit that those two guys did. But on top of that, if the Raiders get worse after a 6-11 season, you kind of have to think to yourself, maybe it's time to move on. What up, Raider Ryan? Haven't been to Raiders home game since they were in Oakland. Went to Raiders Seahawks last year, but no tailgating like in Oakland. How's the tailgating in Vegas? I've actually never been to a tailgate in Vegas, but I know this. You can't replicate Oakland. There was nothing like Oakland. And if you tailgated in Oakland, hit that subscribe button. Let's go to Prime Dirtball. What up, Artino? Calling 9 wins if Jimmy G stays healthy. If Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy, I do think that the over-under should be set at 8.5 wins because he is a good quarterback. He knows this system well. And the Raiders, whether you want to believe it or not, do have a very talented offense. The defense has some upside, definitely has some question marks around it, but I do think 9 wins is probably in the realm if Garoppolo's healthy. Let's go to Mask. Ziegler can stay, but McAudibles needs to go. He tries to force a round peg into a square hole with the offense. How much could he simply not adapt his scheme to the players he has? Yeah, this has been the one thing that I've said that drives me by far the most nuts when it comes to McDaniels is I want a head coach that builds his offense around the players and talent that he has, not force the players and talent that he has to work into his system. But hey, if the Raiders go into some playoff games, if the Raiders can have a successful season, I'll say that I was wrong on the hire of McDaniels. What up, Dante? Diablo has been getting tons of hype. What is something we can expect from Robert Spillane? I mean, he's just a run stopper. He is very below average in terms of the coverage game. I haven't heard many good things, I'll be honest, about Spillane this offseason, which makes me nervous because the offseason is usually built for more of the hype train. However, I was talking to a friend of Robert Spillane's soon-to-be wife, and for those that don't know, I am recording this video on Friday, and if you guys could wish Robert Spillane and his new soon-to-be wife congratulations, I think that'd be great. They are getting married this weekend. How about this, though? How many tackles will Robert Spillane have this season for the Las Vegas Raiders? Let me know down in the comments section right now. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about the middle linebacker for the Silver and Black. Let's go to Mask again. Trade now for Malik Willis before they figure out how trash Will Levis is. They need a wide receiver. We want to move Renfrow plus a pick. I'll say this. Malik Willis scares the hell out of me. I was really hoping for a lot more in terms of production from him and him just being ready to go. And I don't know if I want Malik Willis now. Like, I don't know if he fits what McDaniels is trying to do. I don't know if this regime makes a lot of sense to go that route. I think if I'm the Raiders, I'm saying, all right, I'm going to roll with Jimmy G, and then next year if I have the opportunity to trade up to get one of those other guys, great. If I don't, you roll with Aiden O'Connell. Tano, today's MVP. Jim Plunkett for Hall of Fame. 100% agree. Raiders black out the noise, drama, but the system and play for each other, and the only nation, Raider Nation. Hell yeah, brother. Let's keep it rolling here on today's Raiders mailbag, which, for those of you that don't know, Tano got wild. Not only did he change his picture, he got wild today, which we'll show you here in a sec. Adrian, you guys need to take the boots, not the other guys. This is the Raiders Report, baby. We're going to be taking some boots here, and if you want to join us, you got to watch the show. What up, Brandon? Mitch, guess where I saw Patrick B recently? He was on Locals, because he loves great content, personal interaction, weekly pick'em, seasonal, and more live shows. Pat B for Mount Raidermore. I want Patrick B to be on Mount Raidermore as well. And you know what? If you're following this show live, this show's about to get nuts. Alec Cruz, the video of Trivan and y'all look like a dad super embarrassed by his two sons, and he's shitting his after the game. Dude, I'll tell you this right now. If you haven't seen the video, we told Trivan that we were going to take a picture at our Jermaine Illuminor Colt Miller wing eating contest. We took a video instead. Shout out to Trivan for being an absolute legend and being a member of Mount Raidermore. Seriously, go check out the video. But you know what, Chugs? Trivan with that handlebar mustache, you know for a fact that that man's using Manscaped. And if you want to be like Trivan and John Scheffler, you can also, my goodness, get wild by going down to manscaped.com using promo code Raiders for 20% off, because you're not only going to get the best male grooming products on the market, you're also going to be able to save 20% off. If you didn't get what you wanted for Father's Day, it's a great gift idea. 4th of July, it's right around the corner. And if you want to get your 4th of July started the right way with a big bang, I recommend Manscaped. And if you're looking to have the perfect package, get your hands on not only the Lawnmower 4.0, not only amazing boxers, but the ball toner and ball deodorant, $87.99. But you got to use promo code Raiders. Where? At manscaped.com. I salute Manscaped for sponsoring today's Raiders Report. Let's go to Mario. Wentz or Andy Dalton is a potential replacement if anything happens to Jimmy G. If I had to pick, I'll go Carson Wentz over Dalton, but I'd rather not go with either of them. What up, Jersey boy? What do you think about this trade? Renfrow to the Saints for a 5th. Trade a 5th or 4th for Simmons. Cut Andre James. Make Moody and Roten your guards and Parham your center. Extend Jacobs. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I like this idea. I do. I think that this would be a pretty damn good idea for the Raiders to be able to make them better. I don't know if the Saints want to take it right now because, yes, Rashid Shaheed, their top slot, is injured. But honestly, I like this idea. And you'd probably still have enough money to go out and also add a cornerback like a Marcus Peters or an edge like Kyle Van Noy. So, Jersey Boy Greaser, I salute you for being creative. Raider Dawn, Landon Collins is still a free agent. I think he played for Patrick Graham. Should we sign him? If my memory serves me correct, I actually don't know if he did exactly pay for Graham. I know he was with the Commanders from 2021 to 2019. He was with the Giants from 2022 last season, and then 2018 to basically when he started his career. Graham was the defensive line coach for the New York Giants when he was the head coach, or Patrick Graham was the defensive line coach, for the New York Giants when everything ended up going down with Landon Collins. So not quite the same. Do they have some connections? Sure. Could it be a strong safety for this team? Yes, but he does have some injury concerns. If the Raiders go out and they add, Landon Collins, guess what? We're going to be live, and our live shows are crazy. Just ask Mass24 and John Scheffler, who literally just sent in a combined $300 in super chats for those of you watching this live. And my voice is cracking because of all the beers I've had. Hit that sub button right frickin' now. If you don't, you probably eat corn the long way. You know what? I want to bang here a little bit. Mass 24! Bang! John Scheffler! Bang! Mass 24! Bang! And then David If you're not watching the Raiders Report live, well, guess what? You need to buckle up, Buttercup, because this show is about to get insane. But hey, that's why you need to watch the Raiders Report live. I know one thing, man. Oh, wow. That popped up out of nowhere. You know what? We got to hit the gong. We got to do it. We got to do it. Send me over. David Zahn. This is why you watch the Raiders Report live. So, when you get over 500 spent, we hit the gong. David Zahn. Bang! Let's get this show rolled and shout out to all the new subs. Edward, Dennis, Mr. Raiders 76, Perform DH, and then Terry Hopsum. All y'all are real ones. Let's go to the next one. Jacob. Raiders were not in every game last year. What about the Saints game? Only made it to the 50-yard line once. You're right. I said earlier on today's live show that the Raiders were in every single game. That Saints game was the worst game that I have ever seen. And, speaking of that Saints game, are you going to a Raiders game this season? Yes, I did already break my gong. Yes or no, are you going to a game? I know this. Chugs and I, we're going to be in Vegas. Week 3, Sunday Night Football against the Steelers. Not for the actual game. We're going to be partying with Graphic, Raider Cody, some of the guys, and then we're also going to be going to a game a little bit later on in the season. But if you are going to a game, let me know which one you're going to. What up, Raider X? What is the timeline on Tyree Wilson's foot injury? From what I understand, he is expected to be ready by training camp, so the end of July. Flores Punkit, Mitch, Jeremy. I know that David Aboka Agoa does not count against the 90-man roster, correct? That's why the Raiders have 91. Nor the practice squad, but if he made the 53-man, could they actually carry 54? Yes. So, because of the International Pathway Program, they can keep him on the roster, and he technically does not count against it. So the answer to that is yes. Martin, who stands to gain the most from preseason games? Players, coaches, head coach, and GM. I would say all of the above, right? Like, when you look at how many different players that this Raiders organization has, considering how many guys left, how many new players signed, I mean, every single person can learn, because the Raiders went 4-0 last year in the preseason. And then they went 6-11. This is a time where I believe every single player needs to get on the field. Andre, what is your offensive and defensive breakout candidate for the Raiders? Great question. Defensive, I'll say Neil Farrell Jr. and Divine Diablo. Also look out for Duke Shelley. On offense, the breakout candidate might be Jermaine Illuminor. And if I have to go another route, like Hooper's already had a great year. When I think of breakout, I think of career year. I actually don't see another Raiders player on offense that's going to have a career year, because I also don't consider rookies to be in that realm. Watch out for Dylan Parham. Dylan Parham, Jermaine Illuminor, those are my breakout candidates. Now, if you want to interact with me on social media, you can do so on Twitter, Instagram, and on Locals. And hey, I'm on Cameo as well, at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you want more personal content interaction, weekly pick'ems, only seasonal. Shout out to Brandon Jasper, Locals, Raidersport.locals.com.